They didn't ask, they didn't warn. I came up the mountain and saw my house sign ripped out of the ground, replaced with a new one. Wrong number, wrong street, HOA logo slapped on it like a claim. Before I could even park, Karen walked out smiling and said, "Your address was incorrect. We fixed it." Fixed it, like she owned the place. I told her calmly that this house was abandoned for years, that I bought it legally, that the address was registered with the county. She crossed her arms and said, "Not anymore." That's when things started breaking fast. Packages went missing, emergency mail got returned, a delivery driver told me the HOA said my house didn't exist yet. Karen posted a notice on my door saying occupancy was under review. Under review for a house that had been sitting empty since before she moved in. I stayed quiet. I didn't argue. I didn't touch the new sign either. Instead, I pulled footage from my trail cameras, screenshots from the county records, and a time-stamped video of Karen herself installing the fake address. She thought changing a sign would erase me. What she didn't know was that every lie leaves a paper trail, and I was already organizing it for court. They ripped my address sign off the road before I even finished fixing the porch. I found it face down in the snow, replaced with a cheap HOA marker pointing in nowhere. When I asked why, Karen smiled and said, "That house doesn't exist anymore." I stood there staring at my own driveway while she called it abandoned property, told a delivery driver to turn around, and warned me I was using a fake address. She said it loud so the neighbors could hear. By the next morning, my mail was gone. Packages marked undeliverable, emergency services rerouted. Karen showed up again, holding a clipboard, telling me I needed HOA approval to reclaim the home. Reclaim, like it wasn't legally mine. I stayed quiet while she talked about safety codes and community rules, acting like she was doing me a favor. What she didn't know was that every sign she moved, every notice she posted, every time she blocked access, it was all being recorded. She thought changing a sign would erase my ownership. She had no idea she was building my case for court. The first thing I noticed was the sign. My house number was gone, replaced with a clean white HOA plaque pointing the address somewhere else. I stood there in the cold, staring at it, trying to understand how my abandoned mountain home suddenly moved overnight. Then Karen's voice cut through the air behind me. "That address was wrong," she said. "The HOA corrected it." She said it like she was fixing a typo, not erasing my home. Trucks drove past, confused, mail got returned, even GPS sent people to the wrong driveway, and Karen smiled every time someone turned around. I bought that place when no one wanted it. Broken roof, no power, no road plowed in winter. I fixed it piece by piece. Now she was acting like it never existed. When I asked who gave her the right, she tapped the new sign and said, "Community Records." That's when I felt it. Not anger, clarity. I pulled out my phone and took photos. The old post hole, the fresh concrete, her HOA logo stamped on the back. Karen laughed and said, "You won't win this." I didn't argue. I just kept recording. Because the moment someone changes your address without permission, they're not fixing a sign. They're trying to erase you. They changed my house address overnight. I woke up, stepped outside the abandoned mountain home I just bought, and saw a new metal sign nailed to the post. Wrong number, wrong street, HOA logo stamped to the bottom like a threat. By noon, Karen was already there, clipboard in hand, telling me Deliveries couldn't find my place because I was not registered. She smiled and said, "Maybe this house isn't meant to be lived in." I knew what she was doing. Erase the address, erase the owner. I walked inside, slow, calm, and pulled out my phone. Photos, old maps, the original address burned into county records older than her HOA. She followed me, still talking, saying the home was abandoned, unsafe, forgotten. I let her talk, let her change signs, let her send notices to the wrong address on purpose, because every lie she told was building something she didn't see yet, evidence, and she was about to help me collect all of it. They ripped the address sign off my house before I even finished cleaning out the trash. I was standing on the porch of that abandoned mountain home when Karen's voice cut through the trees, sharp and loud, saying, "That address doesn't exist anymore." She held a new sign in her hand, already screwed with fresh bolts, showing a different number. My number changed, just like that. I asked who authorized it. She smiled and said, "HOA corrected it." Then she added the line that told me everything. "You can't prove otherwise." Mail stopped showing up the next week. Deliveries got lost. Emergency services couldn't find the place when a neighbor called about smoke from my chimney. Karen acted confused every time I asked, said the county records must be wrong, said abandoned homes don't keep original addresses. I started to notice things. Photos taken from her phone, notes taped to my door with the wrong number printed bold. She wasn't just being annoying, she was trying to erase me from my own property. So I stopped arguing, I stopped explaining. I started recording. Old maps from the county archive, satellite images, utility records older than her HOA, time-stamped photos of the sign change, video of her admitting the HOA updated it. When she finally laughed and said, "Take it to court then," I nodded, because that was the moment she didn't realize she'd already lost. They ripped my address sign off the post before I even finished unloading the truck. I came back from the hardware store and saw a new one bolted in its place, neat and official, pointing to a number that wasn't mine. Karen stood there with a clipboard, smiling like she'd done me a favor. "That house doesn't exist anymore," she said. "HOA reassigned it." I laughed at first. Then I saw my mail piled in her hands, utility notices, county letters, even a package I'd been waiting on. She tapped the fake sign and said, "If you want to live here, use the right address." This wasn't a normal house. It was an abandoned mountain home I bought fair, cheap, and clean. No neighbors wanted it. Too far up, too old, too quiet. I fixed it myself, piece by piece, and now she was standing there pretending it belonged to her map. By sunset, delivery drivers were turning around. Emergency GPS couldn't find me. My phone showed the wrong location. Karen watched from her porch like she was winning something. What she didn't know was that the original address was still alive in county records, older than her HOA, older than her rules, and the moment she touched that sign, she handed me everything I needed.